Guys, I barely passed high school. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not like a genius. I failed college.
Okay.
And most of the time you guys will see me spell like 90% of the time you will see me spell something wrong. Like you don't have to be a genius to make a lot of money.
Yeah, it took us about 5 minutes to learn how to spell preneur at the end of preneur. We both were wrong
Yeah.
over and over again.
Hey guys, welcome to the Deal Room. I'm Eva and this is my co-host Matt, and we are going to do some cool little segment today with a twist on Alex Hormozi and his quotes. If you guys haven't seen some other podcasts that Alex has been on, he likes to read his crazy quotes and then say some things about it. And obviously he's a super influential and inspiring guy, so we thought let's read a couple of his quotes and say how they pertain to us and the industry that we're in and how we feel about them.
Yeah, there's no way you haven't seen Alex Hormozi. I mean, he has his own, we were talking about the other day, his own brand, and the way he has it. It's, you might even know his name, but you see the muscle dude in the flannel with the hat on and the
he's
nose
always
strip,
got those.
and you know who it is. Like all you have to do is start describing him, and you're like, you know who he is. He's
You
everywhere.
know exactly who he is. Not even
Yeah.
if you don't know his business or anything, you've seen this guy around.
Yeah, and he's always saying some crazy stuff, some really like profound stuff, and a lot of insights. And I think the first time I heard him, he talked about how like we'd want to see Jeff Bezos and whoever had built something great, like the journey that they built something great on, and that's what his goal is, to show them the journey, show everyone the journey that he's built. I think he said this, and I hope this is one of his quotes. I don't know if it's in here or not, but it's basically make your free stuff so good that their paid stuff looks like shit.
Yeah, he does say that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is something that is stuck to me of what I would like to do. Just give away everything for free. And then eventually, if I have something to sell, then maybe someone will buy it because I helped them out. But I think that's the way he goes.
And that's what he does. He preaches. He does what he preaches. How do you say? He
Preach
does.
is a good one, yeah.
He does what he says he's gonna do. And so he's got a lot of great stuff out there. We were literally just talking about all his books. So if you don't have his books, he's got 3 different books offers. Yeah, and then Matt's got the 3rd one. We're clearly some Alex nerds over here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Matt jokes me about that, how much I talk about him. But I mean, his insights are great. I mean, every time I watch a video, I learn something, I feel like. So
No, every time. He's amazing. He's got a great brain. So some of the quotes that he puts out there, these are his tweets, I think a lot of his stuff he puts out there is sometimes controversial. And then when you listen to him kind of say why he feels that way or what he thinks behind it, it's really interesting to see how his brain works. So I've got a list. I brought a list of quotes for us.
You did, yeah. We have a good amount of lists, and we're talking about that. You just kind of read the quote and then kind of go over our thoughts on it. I mean, how it applies to real estate too, and I think that's our expertise and what we can do. So entrepreneurship and real estate, I think that we can bring those back in.
So the first one says, "A focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius."
It sounds like, yeah, I can see why you can probably argue it a little bit, but at the same time, like, I don't care how smart you are if you don't put in the work for it. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same thing as like hard work beats talent every time.
I mean, that's something that, who is it? Will Smith says all the time, that he's going to outperform you every time. I think it's even, maybe Michael Jordan says that too. That you might be better than him at the sport, but he's going to outperform you every time. He's always going to be waking up earlier. He's always going to be practicing longer. And I agree. I tell people all day long on TikTok, you don't have to be fucking smart to make money.
No, you can fall
I'm
into
not that
deals.
smart, guys.
You can fall into deals. You literally just have to make the calls.
You just have to do the
You should
thing.
have the conversation I had with my wife earlier about, she brought me to a dentist, and the dentist, every time we go there, costs $1 million for whatever reason it is. And she was like, what were you supposed to have done today? I was like, I don't know. I just showed up. And she's like, how do you go about life just not knowing? I was like, I don't know. I just go.
Well, that's
you know?
that's a different story. That's a man
Yeah.
thing. I have
She's
this
so
same
mad.
question.
Yeah, she was so mad at me. Like, I don't understand how you just don't understand. I was like, look, they just told me to show up, and I just show up. And I think that helps with business. I was just trying to turn it into a positive instead of just a negative. It helps. I just showed up. I learned enough about what I needed to do, and I didn't learn everything. I just went. I was like, all right, I'm just going to take what I know, and I'm just going to do what they tell me to do, and I'm going to do it until I'm successful at it. And so that was something that helped with when I was going through the course with Jamil and learning wholesale. Was I didn't finish his course. Admittedly, I did not go through the whole entire thing. I was like, all right, I understand how to do that. I'm going to do it. And I just did it.
And I would just hop back in there every now and then when I didn't know something. When there was something that I didn't know and I needed to figure it out and I knew I didn't finish the course. And this might be an ADHD problem. Maybe that's why we both did the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, okay, now I'm at this point where I'm not familiar with this information or this stage or whatever, and then learn that, and then go to the Zoom calls and ask the questions, get the information I needed, and then did the thing. And I'm not like, guys, I barely passed high school. Okay, I'm not like a genius. I failed college. I didn't make it in college. Yeah. And most of the time, you guys will see me spell like 90% of the time, you will see me spell something wrong. Like, you don't have to be a genius to make a lot of money.
Yeah, it took us about 5 minutes to learn how to spell preneur at the end of preneur. We both were wrong over and over again.
The other day, we're just going back and forth trying to spell it to each other.
U-E-R. Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, again, it's about the work and the consistency. I mean, I think we probably have this quote somewhere in there too, but he just talks about over and over, just doing it over and over again. You're eventually going to be successful at it. Like it's inevitable. There's no way you can't be if you just continue to do it over and over and over again.
I think that even like in a regular 9 to 5 kind of industry life group area thing, whatever you want to call that, they even prefer experience over, like, of course they want you to have your degree and your book smarts, but they're going to pick the person that they interview that has more experience and hire them than they are the person who just graduated with the book.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. You have the jobs like, I want a degree, and like, what do you want a degree in? Like, anything. What's the point of the degree? Like, I went for theater, or like I went for like, or music or something like that. And like, how is this going to help me right now in the sales job that I have? So yeah, hopefully they look at that. I hope so. That's something that
the more you do something, your experience should outweigh your knowledge. We hope.
It should, yeah. And it's funny because we have a couple people that help us with editing, and they're both very young. They're 18 years old, and they're in college right now. Yeah. And I'm telling them, like, hey, look, the experience that you get from this, like, whether you want to work with this long term or not, it doesn't matter. Like, you can take this anywhere you want to. The experience you get from doing this is going to be worth more than you get on a degree. It's just the way it goes down to. If you learn more by doing this than you will by reading a marketing book. So
have you ever seen a deal fail because someone acquired it from chasing too many things at one time?
Yeah.
Rather than committing to one clear strategy, they're like, I call it the chicken with their head cut off. Like, they're in every market you can think of.
Oh my gosh.
Doing every strategy you can think of. And so it's kind of like, there is no focus. So then they don't focus on anything specific. So then they don't build the skill set in that. Right. And then it's just as bad as being someone who's just not focused and a genius. Like, you're so smart, but you're not focused. You're everywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the first questions I ask people when they tell me they're wholesaling. All right, what market are you in?
Yep.
And if they go off and like, I'm in Dallas, I'm in Las Vegas, I'm in Los Angeles. Every single, they name all the hottest markets of the biggest markets, right?
Yep.
And you're like, all right, how many deals have you done? Nothing. Well, I know your problem. You don't have to talk any further. Like,
strategy are you using?
Yeah, it's just you can stop right there. It's just they want to be the nationwide wholesaler without being the wholesaler that starts it off.
I'm nationwide, and I'm cold calling, and I've got bandit signs, and I'm calling agents, and I'm like, how are you alive?
Yeah, and you're broke at the same time because you're going to spend too much money at the.
You're probably really tired.
It happens every time. I'm telling you, that's the number one thing I hear. I think when new wholesalers jumping in this and they haven't had any success, especially after doing it for a little bit, is that they're trying to do too many markets.
Yep.
Like, why? Like, especially if you're doing agent outreach, because you don't have enough time to build enough solid relationships in that market in order for you to get deals done. You have to build that relationship. You have to continue to get it, and you're not going to build it consistently. You might get lucky. I know you have the obviously the on-market stuff where you can pull stuff and get the deals from that. But to build a consistent business on that, of growing it, you have to build relationships. And if you're only doing one relationship, like 10 relationships in this market and 10 relationships in this market, how long is that going to take you to build up?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of our deals, I always tell everyone that none of our deals ever come from like the initial offer.
Right.
It always comes from the follow-up. And then when doing that follow-up, that's when you're building those relationships. And then what builds from that follow-up is them bringing me off-market listings or coming soon or something else. And that's how we get a lot of those bigger paychecks. That's why we like average 12,000, because not every deal is 12,000. A lot of deals are like 3 and 5. Yep. Especially the ones that are specifically on market. Yep. But then we get those ones that come off market and they're like 30, 50. And so then it starts to balance out and make that 12K on average number. But everyone thinks that means that I get 12K for every single deal. And I'm like, no. That's not what I mean by that. Sometimes I make no money. Sometimes I make $500. Sometimes I make $50,000. Like, it just depends on the deal and what's happening. But having that focus and consistently working in that one market. I mean, I've been at this 5 years and I've been in the same two markets, like kind of like the same two markets for that entire time. I started in Vegas. I've always been in Vegas. Then I started in Orlando, and then Orlando kind of stretched into Tampa, and then it trickled into Jackson, and then it just became pretty much all of Central Florida. And so, you know, I've just consistently stayed there this whole time. I like everyone wants to do, like you said, Texas, Arizona, Vegas, every hot market that you hear. Oh, there's another hot market. Oh, let me add it to the list. Let me start marketing there. Like, no, guys, I've been in the same place for 5 years.
Yeah, it took us about until this past year, which is year 4 of us in this business, to expand into new markets. And the only reason we did is because I have a process and a team in this place that consistently brings in money. Like now we do consistent deals over and over again. I built that now. Now I can just replicate this over and over again to new markets. And that's what you should do. You should spend your time building the business, learning how to run the business, and then just replicate it. And that's how you expand.
That's what I teach in our turnkey system. But I tell them, like, you can't walk away and open your next market until you've consistently did like 30K for at least like 2-3 months in that market. Because then that means that you've shown improved and your foundations are solid. And now you can move into your next market. But if you haven't done any deals, or you've barely done a deal, and your team's not like consistently churning anything out, like don't move. Don't go anywhere yet. You're not ready, because the moment you move, that whole thing over there is going to fall apart.
It is. And then you're going to be scrambling with 2 markets.
Yep. And then you're going to be the chicken with your head cut off.
Yeah, exactly. It happens all the time. Yeah, it's funny you brought that up, because it makes sense with the focused idiot makes more than the unfocused genius. I butchered that quote, but for the most part, it makes sense, because you watch so many people who are they could be very talented at sales or whatever they're looking to do, but if they're trying to do too many things at once, or the shiny object at once, it just doesn't work out.
Yep, never.
You just need to slow down and just watch one thing at a time, grow that one, and then move on as it grows.
I think that's the biggest, probably the number one problem that sellers have, for sure. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no way. It never works.
There's a lot of things you can do in real estate. And there's a lot of people talking about new things in real estate. There's, I heard reverse wholesaling is a thing now, and it's, then there's land, and then there's MLS deals, and there's direct to seller, then there's direct to their marketing. There's RV parks.
It never ends, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It just grows and grows and grows. And so, like, it's so easy to say, oh my gosh, this person, Pace Morby talks about how he makes 15 grand on one RV deal. I'm gonna go start looking at RV parks. I'm like, you haven't learned how to underwrite a single family home yet.
You haven't even got a single. You've been trying to do wholesaling for 6 months, haven't gotten a single deal. Now you're trying to do RVs. Like, just be the dumb, focused person. Just head down, focused in, because otherwise you're never going to get anywhere.
All right. So the second quote we got here is, "How to stay poor: start tomorrow, fail once, quit forever. Blame your circumstances, wait for perfect conditions." I mean, every time.
Yeah, every time. That's so funny the way he says that. So stay poor, how to stay poor, start tomorrow, fail once, quit forever. Sounds about right. That sounds like so many people I've met.
Yeah. Oh, I tried
and
that.
then blame the circumstances. This is kind of like the podcast that we were just on with Will, where he kind of said that. He said that all the marketing channels work.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that you need to know what you're doing and have done the things, and you're practicing and you're staying focused, and that you keep doing it. Right. Not that you give up after the first time.
Right. Yeah, I heard him on one podcast. He was talking about it. And he was like, this guy was telling him, like, oh, I can't because I have no time. I have this job and I have kids. And he was like, all right, you can't. That's what he said. And he was like, okay.
Yeah. It's
like, is that what you want to hear?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you tell yourself you can't because of all these things, you're not going to. It's like, all right, what do you want to hear? What do you want me to say to you?
I'll tell you what, guys. Beyonce has the same 24 hours as us. She seems to be doing great. Yes, she has an extra team. Okay, that helps a little bit, but
no, it's how many times have we lost out on deals? We have a podcast coming up where we're talking to a guy named John Galan who failed on his first 15 deals.
Oh, I didn't know he did lost 15. Wow.
15. I think it was 15 straight deals.
I mean, we did that challenge, right? Where the challenge was to do 10K in 10 days. We made the challenge work. I started a whole new account. We got the first 10K deal in 8 days. We got 11 contracts though in that challenge. I guarantee you. I mean, we're still in the challenge. Today is day 9 of the challenge. or day
Hmm.
10 of the challenge. We're on day 9 or 10.
One of those,
But
yeah.
point is we currently have 11 contracts. I'm canceling at least 4 of them today. So it's like, I'm gonna cancel a lot of contracts. It happens. Some are gonna
Mhm.
succeed, some are not. It's not uncommon. So even if John canceled 15 in the beginning, that doesn't really exactly completely go away later on in the business. You can't let that completely discourage you. You're gonna
Right.
lose some, you're gonna lose some, especially if you're doing like a lot at one time.
I mean, just listen to any successful entrepreneur. They're going to tell you right away that they got a bunch of no's before they ever got a yes.
Oh, all I look for is the no's. Like I'm waiting for them to. If they don't tell me no, then I'm surprised. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Right. So,
Did
yeah, something's
I do
wrong.
something wrong?
Yeah, my numbers are way off.
Way
If they
off
told me yes
numbers.
right away.
I offered too much money. Wait, let me
Yeah.
go
Hold on,
back.
hold on. Yeah. Yeah. No, anyways, yeah. So yeah, it's with us on our deals. If it happens all the time. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. If John, how different would John or anybody's life be if they just said that took that first no and was like, all right, yeah, that's not a good idea, and just walked away.
Yeah.
And what I like to tell people too, one of my favorite things to say is, what if you were 100 no's away from a yes?
Then you would count your 100 no's.
You'd be like, all right, one no down. Next one, next one.
Seven.
Yeah.
23. We're almost there.
Yeah, you would be happy about getting no's, and that's the way it is. That is actually the case of what it is. You're only a certain amount of no's away from a yes.
Yeah, you just have to change your mindset.
Right,
That's all
exactly.
just a mindset shift. You
Right.
can't let one bad thing, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you definitely can't have one bad thing discourage you. Like, there's
No.
500 bad things that happen a day.
Yeah.
It
You're allowed
doesn't
to get you're allowed
stop.
to get down, but then
Yeah.
just be like, pick it up and go. Like, all right, happened.
All
Move on.
right, fix this problem, on to the next. There's always a problem. I
Yeah.
promise you. I can promise you anything in entrepreneurship, there's always a freaking problem.
Oh, it's always every time you
Always.
fix one problem, another one opens up. 5 more
There's
open.
always something to
Yeah.
do, something to fix.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. And I tell a lot of new wholesalers that jump onto this too, and they're talking about it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I keep getting told no." I'm like, "Yeah, duh. Yeah, keep going, get
Yeah.
more no's."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we want to, and they're like a lot of people too, and they say like, "Oh, I mean, the property just got on the market." I was like, "I don't care. I'm still gonna offer on it, and they can be mad at me if they want to. I'm still gonna put my offer out, and then when you don't sell it in a month, I'm gonna be the first person that hits you back in a month."
Man, I have so many. Our AI follows up every 5 to 7 days, and the agents will
Hmm.
be like, "We like your persistence, but
Yeah.
nothing has changed." I'm like, "All right, well, we'll follow back up.
Talk to you in a week. Yep.
I'll see you next week."
Yep. The minute that does change, when that seller is
I'll
like,
be
"All right,
here.
I have to get rid of this,"
You know what's
you
gonna
know,
happen is you're gonna be like, "This person was hella annoying, but they
yeah.
did keep asking, and the contract did
Hmm.
fall through. And let me
Hmm.
go reach out to that annoying person."
Right, exactly, exactly. I can't tell you how many times we've had people that are like got angry about our offer,
All the time.
just for the text back in a couple months, be like, "Hey, by the way, is your offer still available?"
It happens so much. I have so many funny messages like that where agents are like,
Yeah,
"Are you crazy? How disrespectful, blah blah blah." And they
yeah,
would say that, and I'm like, "All right, so sorry, Steve."
yeah. Talk to you next week. See if it's still respectful next week. Yep.
6 weeks later, Steve is like, "So," I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, thanks."
And then I say, "No, it's 10K lower."
And that's also why you can't have hard feelings when agents get an attitude with you. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know why they're getting an attitude. I'll be back next week, Steve. It's gonna be
yeah. Well,
okay.
I'll let some agents have it. A couple of times I've had to show my, because when you have VAs that scale with us, and right now I hire VAs to scale my business because really hard workers. Obviously, it's a little less, it's more cost effective as it grows. When I scale into a different market, I bring them in as acquisition people, and I have the team around that builds them up, and they just close the deals. And a lot of times they're timid about it because they don't want to say the wrong thing or like screw up or something like that. And I'll get on the phone purposely, and I'll let an agent have it. And
Yeah.
I'll say, guess what? That's one agent that won't work with us. There's 10,000 more sitting right in our contacts.
There's literally over 500, or I think there is 500 or over 500,000 agents in the state
Yeah.
of Florida. In just the state
Yeah.
of Florida. That's one of 50 states.
That's insane. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm like I don't like. Obviously, I don't want to purposely ruin relationships as I go through because no business is going to survive if you ruin everything. But I'm not going to let an agent tell us how to run our business or like come at us like in a certain way. I'm like, all right, you're one of many. I can look how many deals you've done. If you haven't done more than one deal this year, I don't want to. You don't get to talk to me that way.
Honestly, my AI just handles it. I don't handle them anymore. I just let the AI
Yeah,
handle it because
yeah,
I am like you. I'll be like, let's have a little conversation here.
yeah.
But the
My
AI
team
the
now.
AI is like, "So sorry. Have a great day," and then follows up a
No,
week later.
no. It's funny because the girl I was talking to who edits our stuff and puts our stuff on social media for me. She was like, I want to create stories of I want to create pin stories of what you put up there, and I was like, please don't put the last one I put up there. Don't pin that last one, because I let an agent have the last one. I was like, I gotta be more careful about what I put out there. But yeah, agents will get offended by offers. They will get all upset about things because they're counting their commission checks and stuff like that. They'll try and come at you and pretend like they know something, and I hate the line every single time. I have 25 years experience. I was like, I don't care. I've done
Well, I've been
in my 4 years, I've done more
40
deals than you in
years.
25. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. Like when people say that, I do not care at all. I promise
You're
you.
like,
And
great.
so,
I've been here for 4 years, and I think I know more than you.
right, I've done more. I can look how many deals you've done, and I've done more than you in 4 years, and then you have done in 25. So
I
that
think
experience.
that says something.
Yeah. So yeah, I tell the VAs when they're that, I'm like, don't even worry about that. Like allow yourself to have that. It can. I don't care if you make a bad conversation with the agent. They're fail at it. Find out what you did wrong. If you did something wrong, it might be the agent.
Yeah.
And then let's just move on. There's 10,000 other ones to go through.
Yep.
And that's how you get the deals.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, it's all right. It's all right if you do it wrong. Just do it, okay?
Failing is imperative.
And don't be afraid to fail. Fail forward.
Yes. Yes. Fail a lot. Actually.
Fail a lot.
Fail a lot.
You're gonna learn a lot failing. I think it's a requirement.
It is. Especially in business, you have to fail.
Yeah. Otherwise, how do you learn?
Yeah. Speaking about Jamel's course, I probably would have made a lot less mistakes if I watched the whole entire course. But I learned one way or another.
We like to learn the hard way, us ADHDers.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with us.
We just do things and then figure out the hard way later.
As long as you just do the things. It's all right. See, you guys, we're not perfect. It's all right.
Yeah. All right. So the third quote we got is the pain is the pitch.
The pain is the pitch.
I mean,
yeah.
in sales in general, you're not going to sell anything to somebody who doesn't have a pain in it. Now, a good salesman can obviously uncover pain, and they can make people feel pain that they didn't know was there. So a good salesman can do that. But again, if there's no need for the product, like for example, why we don't touch any houses that are a new build or something that somebody just put a bunch of money and renovated, they can sell on full market. There's no pain for that seller to order to sell at a discounted price for the most part. Every once in a while, creative comes into play.
That's interesting. So that's an interesting way that you took this quote. I was thinking another way. So I was thinking kind of back to what we just said a second ago, where he says the pain is in the pitch. I was thinking like the pain is like people being afraid to make the offer to the agent.
Oh, well, that's
See?
definitely
Two different point of
yeah.
views. Interesting. Yeah.
Right.
See, I was thinking
I
like,
agree.
oh, they're going to be, okay, the pain is in the pitch. You're afraid to pitch your offer. You're afraid to say your low offer.
Mhm.
You're afraid that they're going to be offended. Like, who cares? Like, the pain is in the pitch. You just have to go through it.
Right. I think that works both ways though.
It
I
does.
think that's
Yeah.
that's a good way you took that. I'm glad you did too. Because there's a lot of people who are like, oh man, my offer is way off. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it should be. If you're happy about your
Like-
offer.
I'm usually like
Yeah.
100K off, guys. It's all right.
Yeah. If you're feeling good about your offer, then you might want to
Probably, yeah. If they say yes, right when you say your numbers, you probably did your math wrong.
Speaking of that, while you're doing on-market offers, please, for the love of God, make sure you give a good discount on a property.
Yeah.
If the property's been sitting on the market at $150,000 for 60 days plus, don't go lock it up at $90,000 trying to dispo at $100,000 again.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, don't lock it up at $140,000 trying to dispo at $150,000 again. Like it doesn't make sense. It didn't sell for that price for a reason.
Yeah, no, and I always say, like, if you look at no matter how long it's been on market, the longer it's been on market, the lower you should go. But no matter how long it's been on market, typically my buyers don't even want to look at it if it's not 50 to 70 under asking.
Yeah,
Like, if
you gotta
it's
go
not
with
even
it.
close to 50 to 70 under asking, they're going to be like, why am I looking at this?
Right.
And every now and then you have those properties that don't really fit that criteria because the agent knows what they're doing. They priced it accordingly. And
Yep.
typically you would offer 120 and they have it listed for 130. And so you're like neck and neck. And those ones, if it's a good market, you'll get where the buyers will compete against each other for it. What do they call it?
If you get it like right away,
A
like
bidding war.
like what? You get it right away though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, not if it's been on 100. If it's at 130 and you get your numbers at 120 and it's been on 100 fucking days,
Something's wrong.
something's wrong. The math isn't mathing here. Too many numbers are not right.
You're missing something. It could be something like the neighborhood. It could be something like around the property that's keeping everybody away. You're missing something. If you're getting the numbers really close, your ARV could be off. Something's going on. So don't just think just because you ran your numbers and it came out that way that it's okay. Give a good discount on that. That's a good thing. But yeah, so what you were saying makes sense is just give your offer out. Like it doesn't matter. It's just a number. Don't think of it as like emotional and don't get tied to it either where you're so emotional about it that you send your offer out and you're like sitting by the phone all day like please, 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 like move on to the next one.
That's a good point because Jamil talks about that too quite often in like his private community calls is where a lot of times people will make an offer on a deal and then it looks like it's promising, right? and then they
Yep.
get hooked all in on that, and they're just putting all their
Exactly.
eggs in
Yeah.
that basket and
Mhm.
riding onto that one deal, and they don't start doing any other deals, any other
Right.
offers. And so either that deal closes and they make that money and they have nothing next coming in the pipeline, or that deal doesn't close and they've got nothing coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, I haven't got any deals, and they're freaking out, and you're like, well, where's like the rest of your pipeline? Like, what else is
Yep.
coming through? And they're like, nothing, because I was doing this one deal. And you're like, yeah, you
Yeah.
can't bank all in on the one deal.
Yeah. I talk about this with my team all the time. I mean, especially when they're working, you have to understand that you're not working to get paid today.
Yeah.
You're working to make sure you get paid next month and the month after that. So everything you do today is going to affect you next month. So if you stop because you're worried about that deal and you're like, I'm not going to, I got to make sure everything goes in this deal. I got to get this deal closed. You're going to struggle next month
Yep.
and the month after
Every
because you got to build up your follow-ups
It's
and
a
stuff. So a lot of
snowball
people like to do that.
effect or a domino effect. It
Hmm.
has to be like that. You do have to keep building the whole time in order. And that's kind of like why in this challenge we just did said we're going to send out 100 offers. That was the goal. We're going to send out 100 offers. We're going to try to get one done, make 10K on that one. We ended up sending like 120 something offers. I still have that domino effect happening where we're still getting new
Right.
contracts today, and we're like at the end of the challenge. But my point to everyone who watched me on the challenge was like, I didn't just stop at 100. Like, I know the goal was to do 100, but I didn't just stop at 100. And if I did just stop at 100, we definitely would not have as many contracts as we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that I'm going to close all of those contracts, and not all the contracts are good. But the
Yeah.
point of the challenge was to get as many offers out there as we possibly could to try to get at least one. And we did that. We made that goal, but we didn't stop at just doing 100. So I know a lot of times I emphasize like every industry average is if you do 100 offers, you get one deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for people, they think for some reason a lot of people have like a stop start mindset, and so they go 100 done,
Right.
100's done, and then we just sit here at 100. I'm like, well, how come you didn't do more? You said 100.
Yeah.
Okay, I did, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean we just quit there.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah, I think that what's also important too is you probably didn't do 100 offers and just leave those offers alone.
Yeah, no.
You did 100 offers, but put them in a follow-up.
Now
Yeah.
the 100 offers is like the starting point. It's like starting the engine, right? Like, let's put some gas in the engine and let it turn it on, let it kick, let it do its thing. All right, cool, it's kicking. Well, now we got to keep it going. So now we got to keep pushing on the gas and just do around town.
Yep.
But we don't just like turn it on and then okay, cool, and then turn it off. Like I don't know if you guys ever been broke and you had car issues, but when your car does some funky shit, you got to drive it around the block to make sure it's still gonna work. You don't just turn it on and go, oh, it turns on now, and then turn it off. Because if you do that, it won't turn on later.
Yeah. And that's that battery issues too. You got the battery going off, you got to get that jump started. I can't turn this thing off. I have to keep going.
I have to drive around the block and charge it. If you guys know, you know. Been there.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really important, obviously, to one focus on the type of properties you're reaching out to. Make sure they have some kind of pain point within it.
Yep.
We have people that bring us over newly renovated houses, new construction houses, and like, well, I want to wholesale. It's like, why? Why would this owner take a lower offer as property that can sell on a retail price? It wouldn't do that. There's no pain there. So focus on which ones are offer or not. Make sure there's pain. Make sure they have issues. Is the property in bad condition? Are they in a financial situation, need to get rid of it? If you find the pain, you can get better offers. And then two, don't be scared to put the offer out when you do.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good wrap on that one.
Sweet.
Was that all the quotes we had?
That's all the quotes.
There's more, right?
Yeah. I think, let me see. How to stay poor. Pain is the pitch. Oh, I have some more. Okay. You get money from yeses. You get time from nos. You get nothing from maybes. Oh, you definitely get nothing from maybes. So my take on this is not so much. Alex Hormozi is obviously a sales guy, right? He's selling. He's trying to get. If you guys don't know where he started with Gym Launch, and of course he's trying to get people into his gym and whatnot. So his yeses and nos are like sales yeses and nos. But I'm thinking more of this as like personal life, like you telling yourself, maybe I'll do this tomorrow, maybe I'll do this next week, maybe I'll start wholesaling. Your maybes are never going to get you to where you're wanting to go, and so it's going to result into nothing. If you say, yes, I'm going to do this today, yes, I'm going to make myself do it, it's going to lead you to money. If you say no, well, then you're just going to have more time, but you're not going to have any money.
Yeah, yeah. Choose which one you want to have.
Yeah, you want time or money, or you just want to keep going on the hamster wheel of maybe that goes nowhere.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think about how you put this into a real estate side of things. Obviously, getting maybes on deals doesn't get you anywhere. No, all right, now you know what to do with the deal when it says no right away. I don't know. I guess maybe is something you push forward towards a yes. It's kind of a harder one. How would you move that into a real estate side of things?
I
How would you
wrote
make
a
that work?
note that says, "What was a deal you had that said no?" And then how did it free up your time for the right deal?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what as for us
Yeah.
now, and for anybody who, because we have CRMs that do a lot of
Yeah.
stuff for us, which is great. At the beginning here, you obviously have to make sure you keep track of things in Podio or whatever free CRM you're using, and as you're doing things like
Okay.
that I can tell you, if you guys are doing it for free, which you absolutely can do it for free and do this the right way, or do this still be successful by doing it with a bunch of free tools and things you use. It's just more of time that you need to put into manually making sure everything is working correctly and your notes are in place and your follow-ups are being done. But with us now, the no is it's fine. Like it doesn't bother me at all. Just move it right over to the right section of the CRM and let the CRM do its thing while I move on to the next offer.
Yep. And then it just follows up. And so then, does it free up your time for your next deal? Sure. But you kind of should expect to hear no. Like we said, if you hear yes, you probably did something wrong.
Yeah, something's going
Probably
on.
not a good thing to hear yes.
Right away, like
No,
you're like, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Not right away. I mean, like maybe after you followed up,
Yep.
God, I don't know how many times. At least three. Three,
Hmm.
5, 7, 9.
Yeah.
6 months later.
We have a thing in our business right now with a lady named Stacey who has been with me for a long time now in acquisitions over here in Virginia. And we tell her, I was like, I don't ever want you to tell me that you feel good about a deal. Because every time you tell me you feel good about a deal, it never works
Good deal.
out. So every time now she's like, yeah, I don't know. This is not good. I think numbers might be off. And every single time we get like a 20, 30K assignment fee on it. Every single time.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, every time she tells me like it's a good deal, I'm like, I don't even want to touch this deal anymore.
Probably not a good deal.
She,
It's a
yeah.
good deal
So
for
like
a retail
you can
buyer.
get lucky. Yeah, yeah, right. It can be for retail buyer. You might get lucky, and yeah, you just happen to hit some money at the right time and say yes. And I would still be a little worried and kind of run the numbers just to make sure. But yes, you should feel uncomfortable when you give offers,
Yep.
and you should expect no's. I don't think you get many maybes necessarily, unless they're like, they'll think about it. But then you're like, all right, well, you only got about 24 hours, and I got to move on.
Yeah. No, I don't think
So
an agent ever told me maybe. The agent usually knows what their seller is willing to take.
right,
The next question
yeah,
is, if you can wait 90 days for a result, you can win. If you can wait a year, you can win big. If you can wait a decade, you can win the best.
yes, yes. It's that delayed gratification that people want the instant yes right away, the instant money right away. And if you can actually think about how I'm building a business that's going to be successful in a year or 10 years or 15 years from now, you build it the right way.
Yep.
We're building out an AI project right now, and I have to keep telling my team, I want you to build this as in it can hold 1 million customers. I don't think we ever hit 1 million customers. I hope we do one day, but I don't think it'll ever happen. But if you build it so we can handle one customer or 5 customers, you're gonna have to rebuild this thing over and over again to make it so it can handle
Yep.
more. Same thing with real estate wholesale. If you build your business with years in mind of how I'm building up my processes, which I didn't do at the beginning here, I just like you do ADHD, just where we're just going and working, and we don't think about whatever. Then when I had a team on, I had to re-figure out all my processes and how I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Go
replicate everything.
backwards.
Yes, if you do that from the beginning and you start building and you're like, all right, I'm going to be successful in 10 years from now. This is what I have to do. This is the process that I'm going to have to put in place. And then I can bring people in. You'll be way more successful.
Yeah, I think I've also learned that lesson that we have to start backwards. I too was
Yeah.
like straight
Yep.
ahead, and
You
now
said 100 calls? Let's do it.
all
Yeah.
right. Now at the point that I'm at now, I realize, yeah, like especially when you start to develop a team and build it and bring a team on,
Mhm.
and you've got to teach them all this. You've got to realize what did you do and how do you do it backwards and how do you do it right so
Mhm.
that you have the end goal in mind. And I think sometimes when people start wholesaling, they don't have an end goal in mind. They're just like, I just want to make 10K next month, or I want to quit my
Yeah.
job. That's like the most common end goal. That's like the biggest end goal I ever hear is I want to quit your job. I'm like, okay, well, and then what? And then what? What are we
Yeah.
doing after that? Oh, I'm just going to wholesale, and then I'm going to do whatever I want.
Mhm.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice to think that
Right.
that's how entrepreneurship works. We all thought that
It's,
at one
it's,
point.
yeah, we did. Yeah, you think like, oh, I'm gonna have so much free time. I'm gonna build this business. I'm gonna go. No, you lose a lot of free time. A lot of people like to think that, and a lot of it is, I think that we talked about it on our first episode that we recorded together, where we talked about how people can do things wrong.
Yeah.
And I think if you're thinking short term and how you want to make your money right now, you will think in ways to screw yourself over long term because you might screw somebody else over, or you might do the wrong thing so that way you get your check right
Yep.
away. And so if that happens, you've now hurt yourself in the decades because you now built a bad reputation, which can kill you, especially in your market. You've built relationships that can bring you a lot more money. So if you're going to think about this, if you think about the long term, I'm going to do things the right way now. It might not pay me right now, and I might lose money, or not necessarily lose it, but I might not make money on this deal or whatever I'm doing. But I built relationships so I can get it done. That agent or that other wholesaler or somebody else will bring me more deals in the future because I got it done.
Yeah, I think to circle back to that from what we were saying earlier, like I did say, like there's over 500,000 agents in Florida. That sounds like a freaking huge number, but in reality, this is a small industry. It's a small world, and so when you have a certain reputation for yourself, it stays.
They talk. They talk. Yep. Yeah. Every once in a while, you gotta let an agent know. But
Yeah. But do you remember? Do you remember when Jamil used to say that? He used to say this story a lot in the beginning, where when he was first working with agents, he would say like, he would make offers on properties, but then he would be like, "Don't tell so and so." Like he would try to make him such a mysterious individual to every agent he talked to. Oh, but don't tell so and so I made an offer with you, or don't say blah blah blah. And so all these agents would end up talking to each other about this mysterious man who was making all these offers in Arizona, and it was freaking Jamil the whole time.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right. But that's how he built like a reputation for himself between all the agents of like, oh, this mysterious guy, don't tell anyone else kind of thing. And of course, that
Don't
makes
tell them
people
anyway.
talk. People just can't not
Yeah.
talk. So then they start talking to each other. Lo and behold, I think it only lasted for like a year or two, he said. And then everybody started figuring out it was Jamil the whole time. But it just shows you it's a small world. All these people are talking to each other in this industry, and if you do only worry about the short-term goal and you do some questionable things, worrying only about the short-term goal and not the long-term goal, you will build a reputation for yourself that will inevitably make it almost impossible for you to do anything long-term. So you have to keep that long-term goal in mind. Do I want to be doing this for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? If I do, how do I want to be seen by these people? What do I want my business to look like? How much do I want to make? How big do we want to be? You have to have all of that in mind. You can't just think, I want to make 10K this month and then quit my job, because you're not going to last long.
It's an active income game. You have to continue to make the money. You have to put the
Yeah.
work in to continue to make the money. It's not like you make 10K every month just because you made one
I think
deal.
the thing is too is
You
like if
gotta
you're
keep
doing
going.
the things, you're gonna make the money. Like
Yeah.
that's
Just do what you
that
did to make the
inevitable.
first
That's what's gonna happen. That's the end result every time. But are you doing the
Yeah.
things the right way? And then are you doing them to last for a long time?
Exactly. Are you building the right? Please, yeah. If you're starting off, if you want to build into a business, think right away about the processes. Write down your processes. Get those in place. Otherwise, you'll be doing it after the fact, which is
Life's a lot
more
easier.
more
And back when we started, they didn't have softwares like Scribe. Scribe, you can download and pay for Scribe. I think it's like 10, 15 bucks a month. You turn it on and it records every little click you do, and it makes a whole PDF document saying step by step what you're supposed to be doing. Like, to make SOPs for your team is like the easiest freaking thing ever now.
Yeah, see, look, I did it the hard way, and I'm still doing it the hard way because I haven't used Scribe. So
You
I
should
need
use
to.
Scribe, man. I use Scribe for everything now. Someone's like, how do you do this? I'm like, do, 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 do. Scribe records. It types out the message of what I did, what I wrote, what I clicked. Shows them little
Yeah, so
spots.
if you're out there, do what I say. Not what you do. I'll do better. All right. So next quote we have on here is, "Most already know what to do and simply don't do it. It's not ignorance. It's fear."
So
100%.
true.
Yeah.
So true.
We have in sales. I think you did. I don't know if you did sales roles or not, but we called it fear of the phone.
Or not.
You can go over the script. Yeah, you can go over the script. You can know the script to review it over and over until you're blue in the face. When you can know what to say, when to say it, but then when it comes time to actually pick the phone up and call, it's all this. My desk is really dirty. Like I gotta clean my desk off, right? I can't focus when my
This
desk
is
like this. Or,
that's that thing that Jamil mentions where you feel like you're busy and you're doing busy work, but this isn't actually busy work.
it's you're not doing the money making activities. You're just trying to keep yourself from doing that. You have to get on the phones. You have to have conversations. You gotta start that off. And I know a lot of people want to skip that part of wholesaling. They want to get VAs to do it, or they want to get AI to do it, and things like that. But you have to have those conversations yourself. I feel like maybe there's a world where you don't eventually down the road, but I still think that that's a valuable skill. That's something you have to be able to build. You have to be able to talk to people, because it could literally be you and another person with the exact same offer, but they go with you because you had a better relationship with that client, or you had a good conversation with them versus the text bot just having to text them. I don't know.
I
What would
agree.
you
I
say?
think where we're at with technology and everything, we have the opportunity to weed out the unbeneficial conversations.
Right.
But the beneficial conversations you still need to have. Like I tell everyone that the AI negotiates all my deals, which he does. He negotiates all my deals. But do I still have to get at the very end of those negotiations? Do I still need to get on the phone, confirm certain things, sign contracts, build rapport with the agent, let them know that I'm a real person, things like that? Yeah, like those conversations still need to happen. You do still have to talk to people, and you do need to build that skill with talking to people and closing those deals and doing all that. But you can weed out the less beneficial conversations, the less potential conversations, the ones that kind of are just probably going to go nowhere or are going to need so much follow up that an AI could do that eventually when it does go somewhere, then you're ready to have the beneficial conversation. But you do still have to talk to people. Talking to people, I think, will never not be like, could it with AI? I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think we're there. Not for another 10 years. Like, it's moving quick, but it's not moving that quick.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? I have no idea what it's going to be like. But what you're saying is important. But it's also what you've done is you built the skill up to talk confidently to the agents in order for them to trust you to get the deal
Yep.
done. I think a lot of people have the problem is that, and look, at the beginning you're gonna suck. You're not gonna sound great. You might lose a couple of deals just because they didn't have confidence in you. But if an agent or a seller doesn't have confidence that you are gonna do what you say you're gonna do and you're gonna close this deal, they're not gonna contract with
Yep.
you. They, especially the agents too, they have to understand they have to have their own money on the line and their clients' money and their reputation on the line too of who they're signing up with the buyer for. So when you have enough of these conversations and you build that skill, it's a different conversation when one of my reps get on the phone versus when I get on the
Yeah.
phone. Because I've had these conversations so many times, I can say it with confidence that we're good. Like everything's good. What I'm telling you is true. We're gonna get the deal done. Let's go and get this thing signed and move on. But when you're newer, like you might be a little bit less confident and you might not know exactly what they're asking, and that could hurt you at first. But you have to go through those reps in order to build that confidence and know that what you're talking about, and when you say things that you can perform on it. And that's I think is something that is invaluable in
Yeah,
this game.
that's true. When I first started, I was really good already on the phones. And I think this just goes back to the fact that I've been doing this since I was like 12.
Yeah.
And in that time period, really, like I haven't been doing like this exactly as I am now today since I was 12. But from 12 years old, riding around with my dad in his truck, talking to people, seeing this done, whatever, to about 5 years ago, what I was doing in between that time is I talk about it all the time. I used to sit on the toilet and scroll on Zillow, like, right?
Yeah.
But not only did I scroll and look at houses like most people do, I was also just calling and bullshitting with agents. I would just be like,
Yeah.
hey, do you think they would take less than this? Like, what kind of loan do you think I would have to get this house? Like, because I was just daydreaming, manifesting all the time. And so I needed data. I needed information to know, like, how far could I push this manifestation? What numbers do I need to know? If that's the number, what kind of business or what kind of thing do I need to build to make that happen? So I was just calling and bullshitting agents. So when I came to do this business, I was already used to calling agents on the phone and just talking to them because I was always just
Right.
calling them to waste their time anyway.
You had a different experience than I did. I worked in sales jobs all the time, but I still like had to get used to speaking in language, agent language, and the way. And I just wanted to make sure that I knew everything. So I did have a little bit of struggle at the beginning. My wife talks about it, and she likes to hurt my feelings
Ah,
sometimes. And she was like, she was like, yeah, when you first started, you would speak very fast, which I typically do anyways, and you didn't sound as confident. But now it's a completely different story for how many conversations I've
we
had.
should get a
So
before and
yeah,
after.
I hope there's not any of those. Yeah.
Get the learning
But yeah, I mean, it happens. Like you're gonna.
curves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, you're gonna suck no matter what you do at first, and that's something that's just part of the game, especially on entrepreneurship. And you have to fail, and you have to fail a lot, and then
Yeah,
you get better.
I mean
So there you go.
that's I think that's pretty much with anything. If you wanted to be a freaking basketball player, you'd have to. You're probably gonna be really shitty for a while,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you'll get better, and then it'll be great, and then maybe you'll go to the NBA. Who knows? Who
yeah.
knows?
Could
It could
happen.
happen.
Yeah, I'm past that age.
That's it. Yeah, no,
I
we're at
think
the
about
prime ripe age of no longer being allowed in the NBA or the
it.
WNBA. We missed our.
I'm on tough practice. Yeah, my vertical is not getting any higher.
Oh man, the only thing that beats free is fast. People will pay for speed. That's
Yes, I
so
mean,
true.
yeah, especially in real estate, we get deals because we can
Yep.
close faster a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you mean? They're like, what do you mean you don't have to wait 30 to 45 days to get a regular loan? No, I can close in 10 to 14 days, sometimes 20 days, even faster.
Yeah.
I'll take a cheaper
Speed.
deal.
It's a speed to lead. That's just like in every sales company. That's the goal. Speed to the lead. You always want to be there
Mhm.
fastest and first. That's why, like you and I have talked about this on other podcasts. We don't care if it's day one. We want to be the
Mhm.
first people that the agent's talking to, and then we want to be consistently the first person who's following up with them every week.
Right. Yeah, and take another way too is, how fast things happen for people. Like if you're selling something in general, and they have a
Yep.
pain point, especially people with houses and stuff like that, and you can alleviate that pain
Yep.
quickly, they would rather go with that than something that is maybe cheaper option. For example,
Yep.
sometimes it's just a lot of a pain that's in their life. They want to get rid of it quicker, and so they won't take the free way out. They'll pay to happily get rid
Yeah,
of
one
it.
of the houses that I won was an elderly woman, and she wanted to move to Georgia with her family, and her house was in Las Vegas. And she needed to move, like, I think something medically happened or something, and she needed to move, like, now. But she needed the funds from selling her house to move. She was going to go live with her daughter, but because of everything that was happening, she needed those funds. So we were able to help her sell her house in like 14 days, get it closed. She moved to Georgia. We had someone come and help her pack up a bunch of stuff. And then the agent also helped her with packing up all her stuff. And she was gone and moved back into her family's house in like 3 weeks after we had talked to her. She had gone to Georgia, moved
Mm.
in, we sold her house. And she was being tossed around a lot by other wholesalers who weren't able to get it done. So she had already been on market like a good 45 days or so, just going through the ringer. And
Mm.
she was like, I just need to move. I need to like have
Yeah.
medical things happening. I need to be with my family. I need to move. I need to be with them. I need my house gone. I need this
Right.
money. And so we were able to help her get that done and move. But we were able to do it in 14 days. It's like other people, I know that I think maybe it was a hedge fund or someone else was like competing against us and they were going to take like 45 days. So it was going to be an extra 45 days on top of the 45 days she was already struggling with. And she was like, I needed to be gone last week. I was like, yeah, let us
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah, does that pain of, how quickly can you get this done? It matters. It matters to a lot of people, especially when people in financial situations or they need to get out. Yeah, if you
That
can do it
bad.
fast
So
enough,
that comes into one of those situations where like sometimes the house itself is not bad. It's the situation.
big. Yeah, makes sense.
Our last question.
Yeah, it said read the quote. Here are our instructions. Read the quote.
Yeah, I made some instructions. Did we
Give
even
us those
follow the
instructions.
instructions? Not sure.
Well, in general, I think one of the things we talked about last episode that we said we could talk forever about was other wholesalers and doing
Hmm.
deals with them. I think that's a whole
Yeah.
other thing. I think a lot of these quotes, especially for people who are coming up and trying to learn this game, especially in trying to get into this as far as building an actual business and doing things the right way. There's ethical ways of doing things. There's unethical ways of doing things. And these quotes in general point you in the right direction to
Yeah.
go to. I think especially that, like, think about things in a long term, decades from now. Are you still going to be okay? It's not thinking about. I understand that you might have a situation in your life where you need money now, and I get that. But if you have to screw somebody else over to get that money, you're just going to hurt yourself even
Yeah.
longer.
It honestly just puts you behind more. A lot of times when you
Yeah.
cheat someone else, you're really just cheating yourself. It always comes back to you're just cheating yourself. Now, when do you feel the after effects of that? I don't know, but eventually you will.
So, what are some ways that do you work with any other wholesalers at all?
I do because I run a community, so a lot of my people like to wholesale with me. But the caveat or the benefit, or however you want to say, of that is that these people I've trained, these people are doing
Yeah.
it the way that I do it. So when they bring their deals to me, either it's wrong because they didn't understand their numbers, and I just help better guide them on how to understand their numbers, and then they get it. And then we do deals together. But there are plenty of times that people just see me on TikTok. They're not part of my community and they send me stuff. Or it's someone new from Jamil's community and they haven't got the reins yet and they send me stuff. But I honestly will shop out a lot. If I know it's for sure not a deal. Like if you send it to me and it's ARV, I'm like, yo, bro. This is definitely not going to work. But there's been plenty of times that I've been like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. And then I shop it out and one of my buyers that I never thought would want it buys it. And I'm just like,
Right.
okay, cool, sweet, let's sell the deal. It's one of those situations where we're like, when someone says yes, we're like, wait, did I do something wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime a buyer's like, yeah, I'll buy that, and I never thought they would, I'm like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. You got a little bit about what that my acquisition lady Stacy does, and like every time she's like, I don't think this is a good deal.
It turns out great. You're just like,
So
oh, all right. Fantastic. I learned something new. I know what you'll buy that you didn't
Yeah.
tell me you would buy.
Yeah, there's a couple parameters that I set when working with new wholesalers. If they're from like the Astro community and stuff like that, typically they have a good head on their shoulders. I
Yeah.
hope so for the most part. But when the other new wholesalers come over to me, a couple things that I don't do. If it's in my it's in my main market here where I live in Hampton Roads, I won't put money on top
Yeah.
of the deal. So you got to figure out a split with me. Like I won't add on top because it always makes me
Hmm.
look like an ass. Because when and people have seen that deal and are like, yeah, somebody's already sending this for $10,000 lower. Why are you sending me this? I
Same.
look terrible. So I won't do that, especially in my market. If I put on an investor lift, I don't care. Like it'll go out there, and we'll see what happens from there. But that's one of the rules I have with that. Um, I'm open negotiation on far as how much you take or how much percentage I get versus you get. Especially if it's our first deal together, and I feel like you're a good wholesaler and you know what you're doing. I'll take less. I'll take 30%, or something like that, as low as I can get it. And I'm like, all right, well then, as I do more deals for you and show you I can get it done, let's move our percentage back up
Yeah.
and get this done. I don't necessarily think that a dispo should make the same as acquisitions because I think it's a lot harder to do acquisitions. How do you feel about that?
I'd agree.
It depends. It depends on which side I'm on.
Before we were on this call, I was sitting in my little
Yeah.
hammock chair, and we got another deal. And there was an
Yeah.
agent, and she was saying, like, I have a buyer for this, but we refuse to go above 110. And I was like, I know, I can get somebody for 120. And I started looking at empty lots that sold and that then had new
Mhm.
houses built in the area because I know the area. It's right by my house. So like I've driven this area and known like, oh, I've seen a house just built right there. So who the hell was that person that built that? And like in 15 minutes, I had their phone number and I sent it to my team and I was like, call this person and tell them that we have a property that they want for 120. And then they were like, okay, we're interested at 120. So then we went back to the agent. We said, you have to come up to 125 because we already have someone interested at 120.
Mhm.
And she was like, I
There
won't
you
do
go.
125. And we're like, okay, well, we've got other offers on the table then. She was like, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you in an hour. And I was like, oh. But
Gone.
that's how easy Dispo is. I'm like, Dispo's freaking, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
Yeah, if you got a deal, it's
Not-
not that hard, right? And I guess, yeah, it depends on what side you're on of which percentage I want. But yeah, so I think that you should, I don't know. I mean, like if people are offering me 50% when I display the deals, and I'll take it, sure. But as far as giving that out as me doing the acquisition side, I typically don't want to. I've done it in the past on a bunch of deals that I had, and I was just like, and then I'm also paying my team on top of that, and I was like, well, I'm getting nothing out of this, so then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this all myself.
Yeah.
That's where we
I
really
mean,
jumped on that.
we've always done like an even split. So I know I've worked with other wholesalers who are like, we have to do 9,600. Like our number's 90. We always want to make 96. And I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
If you can get it out of that, good luck.
Yeah.
But my rule is we're always going to split. So even those people who are like, we want 9,600, I'm like, well, we're going to split this equal 3 ways. If it's a 3-way thing, we're splitting it equal 3 ways. If it's a 2-person thing, we're splitting it equal 2 ways. My thing is always we're just all equally getting a cut. So I've
Yeah.
always done it like that, and not so much like, oh, I'm getting 50%, you're getting 50%, even though that's what it equals to a 2-person split. But let's say a new
Yeah.
wholesaler came to me, and I'm trying to shop the deal, and the deal's not, none of my buyers are biting. So I'm like, okay, someone might have some of the same buyers as me, but they have a better relationship. And so they're answering them. Or maybe they have buyers that I don't have. So I shop it out to a couple other wholesalers that I know have big dispo teams as well. And if they're like, oh, I've got somebody, then I'm like, okay, well, we're going to split it in even 3 ways. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I'm just like, it's going to be fair for everybody. Because I know
Yeah.
that I probably trained that person in order for them to get that deal. So I'm like, I'm getting a good split, okay? And you've got the frickin' buyer, so, fine, you get a good split. And then
Yeah.
you are really trying over here, and I want you to have a win. So we're all just going to share evenly, okay? Everyone, fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I have one wholesaler that's around my area that when she sends me deals, she always says, I want to make
Yeah.
this much money. And then I just try and get whatever on top of that, which is fine. Like I've just put a couple of deals and I've made 5 and she's made 80. Like,
Whatever,
I don't know,
yeah.
it's just whatever. Like, I mean,
I've had some people
Yeah,
like
so
that
it just
too, yeah.
happened.
That they're like, we want 96. I'm like,
Yeah.
such a weird number, but okay.
and that's fine. It just, again, it's she doesn't bring me deals all the time, but when she does, it's usually a pretty good deal. And we just go ahead
Yep.
and just get it done. So, I care a lot about the relationships and I care about the short-term money in general. And if I can help somebody out, then I will, especially newer people. If you're new and you're trying to get a deal, like I'll do everything I
Yeah,
can to get
that's
you.
always my big thing too. Because I know how hard it was when you first start that, like, to get a deal, and how easy it is to get discouraged. Like, I know we said a certain amount of things in these quotes, and like telling you like don't let the one no discourage you and not do the things. But like, I get it. You heard no 7 times, and you're like, fuck, man, I just need to pay my bill next month.
Yeah.
Like, I get I get it.
Yeah.
Been there, done that,
Yep. Well,
and I know that you just want the win to like just give you that little burst of let's keep going. So,
yeah, I think what you said was important about reframing your mindset about it too, and what
yeah,
a win is in your scenario. Because if you think a win is always a deal, you're gonna get discouraged pretty quickly because you got to get a lot of no's to get to that win.
even yeah,
And so
the
if you
ones
change
that fall
to like,
through. Yeah,
right, yeah, exactly, yeah, you think you got to win when you got a deal,
yeah.
and then yeah, it falls and it's even worse. So you change your win to like, I had a great conversation with this agent. I think they're gonna send me
Hmm.
more deals. I felt like I ran my numbers right. I mean, just change your win to something that's a little bit easier, and then build those wins, and those wins will turn
Yeah,
into
the
an
number
increase.
one too is a good one to point out because I remember when I first started, there was an agent who was like really challenging me on my numbers. And I was like, no, I
Hmm.
know I'm right. Like, I know I'm right about this. And so I came to one of Jamil's
Yeah,
Zooms and I brought it to him and I'm like, they're just telling me that I'm wrong. And like, I feel like I'm right, but they're like making me feel like I'm wrong. Like, I feel like I'm crazy. Like, what are the real numbers? Someone else needs to pitch in here and tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. And he ended up coming back and he was
yeah,
like, you're right. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, told you. Not that the agent gave a shit. The agent was still like, no, we want what we want.
yeah,
But
every
still,
time.
like, that was a win
Yeah,
for
I
me. I
tell
was like,
people that.
okay, cool. Like, no, I'm
Big
right.
win.
Even my mentor agrees with me.
Yeah.
The numbers are the numbers.
I think the even bigger win is that you learned that agents don't
Yeah.
lie 9 out of 10.
At the very beginning, you think you can believe everything that they say because they're real estate agents. And as a normal person, you're trained to believe that real estate agents know everything about the market, that they know what's best for your house and the numbers and everything else. But
Yeah.
when you actually become an investor in the real estate space, you realize they don't know shit.
Yeah, yeah, there's a very small percentage of people who really
Yeah.
know what they're doing, and those people are
Yeah.
very good. And then there's a bigger percentage of people who just don't. So a lot of big problems I see is they'll like when they
Mhm.
run their numbers, they will use their CMA tool, and the CMA tool will bring your subject house as a 1950 build, and like, oh, look at this new build, and the 2025 build that just sold for this much.
I'm
Like that
like,
doesn't work.
yeah, we were built in the
That doesn't work.
60s. And
Yeah,
so we're going to sell for at least 30K
that's the thing.
less. Fully renovated. Okay.
Yep,
Let's just start there. Now let's
yep.
go about the fact that you have this across a major highway. We're in a totally different neighborhood
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and I think one thing that helped me reframe my mindset too was Jamil was talking about that. And he was like, challenge the agent back and say like, your job as an agent is to make sure your clients get a
Hmm.
good deal, right? Are you happy if I buy a terrible deal? So like, you show me where
Yeah,
this
because
deal is
I.
good. Like you're failing at your job if you make me buy a bad deal. Then it's your fault, right? That's your job as an agent. So I tell people and they're like, oh, this is a great deal. The numbers are great. I'm like, cool. I got a lender. You can buy it. I'll connect you guys. And they're like, well, I don't have time. They start making whatever excuse comes up.
So
Like,
if you
yeah,
wouldn't
even
buy
though
it
it's not a good
yourself,
deal.
then why are you telling me to buy it? And the other thing is too that like maybe I'm not the seller, so I'm not exactly your client. But if I did buy this and fix and flip it, and I wanted you to relist it, I'm your client. So are you helping me
Yeah,
make money on that deal, or are we both going to be losing out? Because
right.
be for sure you ain't getting your commission.
Yeah, if I can't sell it, then I can't. Yeah. So yeah, you have to refrain from that. It's funny you say that. I got a funny story about this lady in my area right here. As agents, you have to be careful with what you
Yeah.
say, especially lady. And we've had this deal in escrow. It's been over a year that has been
Oh,
sitting in escrow. It's been so many issues within it. I don't even know if my buyer's still good. I haven't even checked with them because it's been that long. I don't want to keep asking him like, "Are you still good?" To give him a reason to say no necessarily. But it's been over a year, and so this lady had the nerve. This agent. We're talking about it. And she was like, in this lot next to it is buildable. And I was like, okay, cool. Do you have anything from the city that states that in writing that it's buildable? She goes, honey, I am the city.
oh, are you?
It's like, that will get you sued
Are you the
because
city? In
I
the
have this.
city? Why are we slow to
Right.
shit?
Yeah. I was like, look, like, well, first off, I didn't say this to her, but I was like, this is recorded. And, if I bought this property and based off your word, you told me that it's buildable and the city comes back and tells me no, you
Yeah.
are screwed.
I mean,
And
that's
so
one
I
of the
was
things
like, I
agents
would
aren't
not
taught a
do
lot.
that.
They are taught that.
Right. That lady said that. And she has been insane for
That's
the
crazy.
past year and a half. I think almost every month, she's like, we're good to go. It's ready to close. And then we call the title company, like, we're not even close. So
Is
every
she
single
trying to
time,
manifest
it's
it?
like,
Like,
this
what?
lady is,
I
I
hope,
don't know.
lady. It's been a
Then
year.
I
I'm
call,
with
then,
you. Are we? Please.
yeah. I keep telling my team, like, this is just going to surprise us one day. Like, we'll just have, like, a good month and we'll just add one. So
One
just
day,
not even
a
worried about it.
check will
Like,
just
whatever happens,
deposit to
happens.
our account magically. One day,
Yeah.
a year from now, 2 years from
Hopefully the
now.
buyer's good. Yeah. I haven't talked to him also the buyer because we did kind of get into it a little bit when he started to say something about like our numbers and stuff like that, and I like challenged him, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna leave him alone to make sure he still closes on this one deal before I talk to him again.
Too much. Yeah, as someone from my team yesterday
Yeah.
had to sit down with a buyer and go over numbers because he was like, "Yeah, we want to give you 40,000 for this," and she was like, 40,000. Wait, what do you?
Yeah.
This is a whole house on it. You're not tearing down the house. This isn't a tear down. This isn't lot value. This is a house that you
Hmm.
can fix and resell for over $400,000. What do you mean you're going to give me 40,000? She's all, do you mean
Yeah.
148,000? Do you mean like? He's all, no,
Yeah.
48. She's like, yeah, we're gonna need to have a talk because that doesn't make any.
Yeah. What are
Yeah,
you doing? Yeah. That's another thing too. I mean, you want to build a relationship with their buyers too. You want to build really solid relationships with their buyers because they obviously
yep,
pay you on that. You also don't want to be a buyer's
yeah, no,
bitch. I don't know how I don't want to say that. You don't want to be
that
that because they will negotiate and they will like
they're
beat you down on your numbers.
not
And if you know your
really.
numbers,
It's not
yeah.
like Matt and his one
So
friend who always gets a good deal.
yeah, yeah. For the most part, they're trying to get. Look, you have to understand on both sides of it. Obviously, right? They're trying to feed their family too, and they want to
Yeah,
make the most money possible. And you got to understand, like, you got to stick solid with your numbers. And I hear wholesalers are like, I got a buyer that's ready to buy up everything. Bring me all your deals. I'm like, you have one buyer? Like, what do you do when that one buyer doesn't want to buy, or that one buyer is way below? What do you do then? So you got to build a lot of relationships with buyers, and you have to understand your numbers, and you have to be able to challenge it a little bit. I'm always open for feedback. I'm always like, yeah, give me the feedback. Why is your numbers? I always ask that whenever someone
yep,
gives a lower number. Why? Don't just like, okay, thanks. No, ask why. Understand more about how you run your numbers. Did I miss something, or are you missing something? And then have
yeah.
more conversation.
No, I do that with agents too, not just buyers, but I also do that with agents. Like break down. I
Yes.
always break down my
Yes.
numbers to agents because honestly, no. I mean,
Right.
an investor, when you break down your numbers to them, it's kind of like a leveled conversation. Like you guys are on the same page and you
Right.
guys can have like a real good
Right.
conversation about it. Agents, either they're going to argue with you that you're crazy about your numbers, or they're going to be completely
Hmm.
dumbfounded that those are the numbers and then just take your word for it.
Right.
And they're going to
Right.
be like,
Right.
okay, I'll talk to my seller and then come back. Or they'll be
Hmm.
like, you're crazy. I can build
Yeah.
an entire new house for $93,000. I'm like, I'll pitch you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What market are you doing this in? Jackson, Mississippi? Like, where is
Right.
this happening?
Yeah,
We're
let
in
me know.
Florida,
Let
buddy.
me know. We'll invest together. Yeah, it never happens. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I always bring up your numbers. I like to have the conversation with my acquisition reps too. Is like, don't be scared to like break down what the offer was and
Yep.
why it was that, because they'll get offended right away. Be like, all right, well, here's my numbers. You aren't factoring closing costs on the back end, the front end and the back end. You aren't factoring hard money costs on this too. On top of the profit we need to make, plus the rehab and everything else. You just think that there's a 100K spread because you see, here is the purchase price and here is what you think the ARV is. But there's a lot of things that go in between that cover
Yeah,
that take away your profit.
that's one of the first
You
things that
gotta
I
know.
made sure our AI could do because that's one of the first things that
Yeah.
I get, pushback on from agents all the time is, oh, that's you. We're asking this much, and you're offering $100,000 cost on that. I'm like, yeah, well, the math is the math, my guy. So here's how it breaks down. And I send them like a
Yeah.
whole like this times this minus this is how much it's going to cost per square foot for this and this. And so then they're like,
Yeah.
okay. And you're like,
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
not just
the
being an
math is
agent.
the
The
math. The
numbers are the
math
math.
doesn't
Yeah.
lie. I can't. You're looking at the
Yeah.
numbers the same way I am. I can't make this up. You can go do your own research.
Right.
Does it cost this much for a roof? Yes. Okay. Well, there you go.
I'm curious to know how do you run your numbers? Do you do the typical 70% minus rehab minus wholesale fee, or do you do it different?
I have like 4 different methods. So I don't like the 70% one. I've never been a fan of that one. Every time I run my numbers with that one, I've never like really got good numbers back from it. I do the 93% rule. So the 93, if those of you don't know why 93, it's because it's deducting for closing costs and agent fees. So it's a 93 minus the repair costs, minus the buyer's desired profit, minus the wholesale fee, that one. Then I also do the percentage by ARVs. So I teach how to go into a market, go find 10 properties that were recently flipped, do the math, break it all down, see what buyers are actually buying at percentage-wise on average, and then offer, like a good 5 to 10% below that. So then you'll do your ARV times that market percentage and then offer like that. The third one I do is this is the one that I do for TikTok lives. This is why I have 11 contracts right now. It's where I just shoot out 300 fucking offers at 70K under asking.
Really? Yeah.
70 to
Yeah.
100K under
That's
asking.
awesome.
So we'll start at 100K under asking, and
Yeah.
we'll negotiate up to 70K under asking. And then
That's nice.
that's the one for TikTok. That one's like an instant one. We click the little rocket on lead speed, it adds it, automatically does the math at that. Minus 70, minus 100, shoots out the offers. Agents respond, the AI negotiates, and then we get them under contract. But that's probably also why I have to cancel 4 deals. So when people are like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I don't suggest doing this. This is for entertainment purposes. This is why I do it in a different account from my company, in a different business name. Because I also do work Florida, but I don't work my TikTok entertainment account for Florida with the same business. Okay? Different business name.
Makes sense.
So, but that's why I have to cancel 4 deals. And some of these fucking agents already know me. So they're like, hey, why are you sending this offer? And I'm like, so I have a TikTok. And that's when I have to wrap myself out. So I have a TikTok, and this is my TikTok. And they go, oh, wow, that's the fact that I have 100,000 followers helps, because then they go, wow, that's so cool. If I didn't have 100,000 followers, I think they'd be like, what the fuck? We hate you. You're annoying. Don't ever contact me again.
Yeah. So I've been seeing this work within my market here in Hampton Roads, and a couple other places too, where it's not foolproof, as in this is always the numbers. $100,000 spreads aren't working very well anymore. Like now it's like 120K, and that's 120K that you're dispoing at. So I know for the most part, and it's under a certain ARV too. If you're below 300,000 ARV for the most part, 120K spreads should get the job done. And so I kind of look at that, and I can quickly like look at the numbers. If somebody sends me a deal, I'm like, all right, well, you're having less than a 90K spread. I'm not moving this, or if it's less than 100K. A very high chance I'm not going to be able to move that deal. If it's around 120K spread when I'm about to dispo it under a $300,000 ARV, typically that's a deal.
Yeah, I agree. I've noticed that too, especially doing this tactic, because the tactic that I was just talking about, where it's the 70 to 100, I started doing 4 TikTok lives, and specifically for this challenge. So I've been like testing it maybe a couple weeks prior to the challenge, just to see if I could do it during the challenge, and then I did it during the challenge. But I agree, I noticed that too. I think that's probably changed. Maybe March to May of this year is where that really, like the 70 to 100 was not working anymore.
Yeah, no, not at all. So especially in my markets over here, and then as you go up in ARV, you have to up that number a little bit. Like I think it's I came up with numbers, and I think it was like around 400,000 to 450,000. You got to have at least 150K, and then up to 600,000, you got to have 170. It was something like that. I don't know how I made it all work out, but I just know like obviously what we have to consider is the higher ARV, the more cost it's going to be for hard money cost and closing cost. And then you also want more profit on top of that. If you're going to spend $1,000 on a property, you want to make a good amount of profit that you could spend on a couple of different properties.
My guys typically want to make 15 to 20% of whatever it is. So, if it's a $600,000 property, they want to make, 120K. That's 20%, right? 120 or less, between 20 and 600. So it's between 60 and 120. So they probably want to make 80K. About 80K.
Somewhere around there. But yeah, it's more than you would make for like a...
Yeah, no, because you're playing with 600 or higher properties. But typically I just do 15%. So like when I'm doing that 93% rule, I'm just going to do 15% of whatever ARV is. That's going to be my minus buyer's desired profit. So like I don't go around asking buyers, what do you want to make on this property? We'd be here all day. So instead I'm like, typically you want to make 15%. If this property is willing to sell at $350,000, 15% of that, do the math, minus that on that offer. And then when it comes to like figuring out renovation costs, depending on, it's the same thing with like what you're saying, if properties are selling under 300,000 or over 300,000, it's a certain dollar per square foot. So like for Central Florida, we're doing like 45, 55, 65, 55, 65, 75. Depends on which market you're in. Like if you're in a more bougie market, obviously a little bit higher. But we do that times the square footage, and that kind of gives us our rough renovation cost estimate. And then we minus that on the board as well. So all of it's pretty rough. None of it's perfect. I know people are like, I don't know how much it costs to replace a roof. I don't fucking know either.
Yeah. It's different for everybody. Also, it's not our job to be contractors, because everyone has different contractors. We had a deal that we were struggling to sell because of the amount of foundation issues that it had. But if you're using like around here it's called JES and other companies like that, you're outsourcing, they're expensive. But if you have your own guys that can fix that,
a lot cheaper,
and a lot cheaper.
So depending on the buyer and what kind of relationships they have,
people, the buyers ask me like, what do you think for rehab? I was like, I don't know. You
You're
tell
going to be
me.
doing it.
I'm not the
What can
buyer.
your guys do it for how
Yeah, I'm not
much?
gonna.
These are your people.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. Yeah, I tell people I don't know. I was like, I'm not a contractor. I don't tell you.
Yeah,
I
when
don't
they
tell you what your rehab costs are. They also kind of use that for
yeah,
negotiation too.
yeah, no, because when they ask me that too, I'm like, I don't know. I guess probably around this based on square footage. But what do you think?
I don't
What do
know.
you think? What numbers are you going to give me?
Yeah,
Because we'll see.
I don't tell them
So
at all what I think. I'm like,
that
yeah,
makes
I
me
have no idea.
question, when you're shopping your deals, are you shopping your deals with the price?
As in,
Yeah,
like
so
the
when
asking
you
price.
blast out your deal, do you have a posted asking price?
Yes. Yeah, I don't like to do bidding wars. You know, people are gonna
Yeah.
get mad at you either way you do it, which I've noticed. Like you know, whatever it is. But my goal is to try and be as fair as possible for everybody. And so mine is first come first serve. If you give me my asking price
Yep.
first, it's yours. Like if you're trying to negotiate, then I'm gonna wait and somebody can get my asking price. They're gonna get it before you. So I do it's first come first serve at my asking price, and then highest and best after that. And I don't go back and be like, well, somebody offered this, can you beat that? Like if you I'm saying you give me your best offer, and if you are the highest person,
Yep.
I'll just tell you it's yours. And but you know people get mad at me because I've had people go at the same time, and then someone calls me a few minutes before them and says I want it at this price, I'll take it, and I give it to them, and they're like, well, I was here at the property too, I want to go on. I'm like, well, look, if you were the other guy, and you happen to call me first, you would be happy that I don't screw
Mhm.
you over to getting somebody else, right? That's just the way I have to do it. And they're usually like, all right, now you explain it that way, I get it. But every time I've heard about
They
bidding
do.
wars, they get really mad
So
about that.
when I
Yeah.
wars, I wasn't pushing out. I never had a price.
Oh
It was
yeah.
just like, you want this property? What are you willing to
Oh
offer
really?
me? Like, here we go. Just shoot it out. And I would get the
Really?
bidding wars, and I loved it, the bidding
Uh-huh.
wars. I'm like, but then people started getting pissed off,
Yeah.
and it started more and more
Mhm.
that more people were pissed off, and less people wanted to buy my deals than it
Mhm.
was they wanted to repeat the buys. And so like I think in the
Right.
first, because in 2020, 2021, because 2020 I started like towards the end of the year. So I didn't have like a long year
Mhm.
that year. And then 21, I was still like, all my deals were basically JV. I was just JVing with everybody. And
Mhm.
then I think end of 21 into 22 is when I started building my own buyers and started doing my own dispo. And that's when I was like, I'm just shooting them
Mhm.
out. But that's because another wholesaler that I had
Yeah.
worked with in the past who did a lot of dispo for me was like, I was like, how do you do it? What do you do? Because back then I was like so afraid to
Mhm.
find my own buyers, not realizing how freaking easy it was. But back then I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, I don't want my own buyers. How to find them, how to talk to them. They're mean.
Yeah.
I had
It's
this
so
whole
easy.
yeah, I
You
had this
just don't
whole
want to
idea
talk
that
to
they were mean. Buyers are
them.
mean. And I was like,
Mhm.
where did I get that from? Who knows? It's not
Mhm.
true. So
Yeah.
they were like, oh yeah, we just blast it out. We don't put a price. I was like, okay, cool. Tried it. I did it for probably almost a year and it worked out well. I made a lot of money, did a lot of deals, but it was like over time, people were just pissed off at me all the time. And then
Yeah.
people weren't even like answering
Right.
me to certain deals and things like that. And that's when I realized,
Mhm.
okay, so this is not going well. People
It's a
are,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah. Go back to
But
relationships.
then I
Relationship.
already knew that with
Yeah.
agents. So why didn't I do that with buyers?
Mhm.
Learning curve, guys. Who knows? You're not always perfect.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You make the mistake and you adjust because I had Jamil had to tell me that too because I had one property. I remember it was the first one that when I first got into his course. It was the first one I had. I got it on a follow up, and they had just dropped out of contract because they had a bunch of foundation issues on the inspection. And I
Yep.
got it for super cheap. And I put it out there, and like 15 buyers wanted to go look at it at the same time. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I have no idea what to do. Like, what do I do? And so I'm like there, and like they're like kind of going at it, like not going at it, but they're like going back to me, like trying to negotiate and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't, I took the highest offer at that point. But then I brought it up to Jamil. I was like, this is what I did. And he was like, yeah, you
Like
should
the
have done it this way.
straws trick,
I'm glad it worked out for you this way.
the straws trick,
Which
where he
one?
makes them draw straws. He's done
Oh
that.
no, I've
So
never
he
done
has
that.
this one trick where he'll have
Yeah,
a bunch of straws and he cuts them, and then whoever gets the longer straw or whatever gets to fucking buy it. So he does a straw trick where he was like he
really.
cut them all and he has them all in his hand like this, and he tells them all like pick your fucking straw, and then whoever had the longest straw
Really?
won. And he was like it's fair and square, like everybody was here, everybody did their thing. You who wanted it, you picked your
Yeah,
straw. Whoever had the longest straw won. He
smart.
taught me that one,
That's
yeah.
smart. That just
Because
happened
one
to me
time,
because some guy came up like higher,
yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'll just take it. Like I was, and then he was like, you know, you need to do first come first serve because the issues that happen. But that's
I
smart. I
didn't
didn't know
tell you
that.
that one.
But yeah, I
That's
tell everyone.
I learned that from him. I thought that was so freaking funny. I was like, I'm gonna stand out there with straws.
Yeah, I don't want to go do that. But yeah, it's funny the way you say that because yeah, people get mad at you no matter what, and like we are very clear about it when we send our dispo
Yep.
tests. How we say first come first serve, at our asking price, highest and best after that, and we tell them we won't go back and try and negotiate with you. You just send your highest price, and that's it. And we have people that try to negotiate with us, and they keep trying to shoot out lower numbers. And then like, oh, sorry, it's sold now. And he's like, I knew you shot my offer. Like, I
That's
didn't
that's
tell
the thing
anybody about
too,
your
is that
offer. You didn't listen.
when you do it without the putting the asking price and then giving that courtesy of like, this is how we're gonna do it, and you shop it out like that, and they do come out and argue with you. I forgot where I was going with this. Sorry. I completely went poop. I was like, wait a minute, what just happened?
I'll see if I can help finish. It probably wasn't it, but I hope I know. I hope I know where you're going. But basically, they know if you do it with them, as in you say, like somebody else has this price, can you beat that price? They know that you're doing it with their offer when they first put it out there to somebody else, and it always looks bad. They always know that, and so yeah, it's you got to do it a certain way. You got to stay consistent with it. I feel like. Sure, I probably lost out on money on deals where
That's where
I could
I'm
have
going
done a
with
bidding
this,
war
is
and got
losing
more
out on
money for it.
money. Because there's been times when I've done that and
Yes.
they've gone back and forth and shopped the offer and like argued, did the bidding war or whatever, right? And then I give it to the guy who wins the bidding war. That guy backs out.
Yeah.
And then you can't go
Yeah,
back to
you
the other
can't go
person
back to
now.
the other
Yeah.
person.
Fuck me.
Yeah, we had that one deal we did with that. It's the same thing happened, and
Yep.
he went back on his offer, and then we were screwed. I couldn't go back to this other
And
guy
then you
until like, 'cause
reshop
I
it
knew
and
he
no
was
one
going
takes
for
it, like that's, you don't get the bidding war again. Like it doesn't happen
Yeah,
the same again. Yeah.
right. So you just have to again, you got to build relationships to where it's at, and keep
Yep.
those relationships. Those are very important. All right, well, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, which
We
is
said we could
pretty
just
good.
yak all day about this stuff. Oh man.
Right. I'm curious. Do you want to do a comping call at all on this, or like don't even touch those? Not on this one,
We
but like
could,
eventually
yeah.
we'll
I
do a
mean,
comping call or anything.
I think we kind of talked about it before, and we said that we don't really want it to be like a school training session. I feel like there's so many people who do that already, but I don't know. I think
Well, if you watch this video and you really
let
want
us
comping, a
know.
bunch of
Do
people
you
say, I
want
really
it?
want comping.
There's a lot of people
Let
who
us
do
know.
a lot of podcasts about real estate and wholesaling. Do you want us to be an additional video of that?
Resources. Yeah. Tell us what you want. What do you want to hear? We're excited to know about deals that went wrong too,
A lot
because I
of
mean, we all have deals that go wrong and things that happen. Yeah. Any questions you have on that, we would love to hear it. So please, like, share, subscribe, comment, put anything you want in there. Help us out to as far as what we can talk about to really bring value.
Anything that we can do that gives you value. Tell us. Let us know.
Awesome. We have a lot of episodes to
Yes.
record this week, which I'm excited about.
3 more tomorrow.
Well, yeah. All right.